UFC Fight Night MOICANO vs. DUNCAN just went down, and I'm going to give you my recap over the entire card. I went 11-2 this card. I mean, if you guys would have followed or made your own parlays off of my knowledge, you would have made a lot of money, most likely. But let's get with the recap. Starting with the early prelim opener of Kai Kamaka versus Dakota Hope. Hope came out fast. Hope came out swinging for the fences. He was ready to go, but you could tell that he was gonna gas out. He stayed in it till the third. He made it a close fight, but I thought it was a clear Kamaka win. Hope's got power. On a full camp, he might be dangerous. But he gassed pretty hard after the first round in this fight, and Kamaka got this one done. Up the card, we had Dione Barbosa versus Melissa Gatto. This one was wild. Gatto got soccer kicked. It was a weird kick because she was starting to get up, and it was very close to having her knee off the mat, and it would have been a illegal. Or her knee was off the mat, but her shin was on it. But if her leg would have been lifted up, an inch, which it was almost directly after the kick, it would have been a legal kick, but it wasn't. The referee and doctors determined that Gatto was able to continue, and they took a point away from Barbosa, and then the fight continued, and Barbosa won. That's just kind of how it goes. When it went to the ground, Barbosa kept throwing up sub attempts. She is kind of tricky on the ground. So she got this one done. Gatto, it probably should have just been a DQ, honestly. But it didn't really hit her in the head. It kind of hit her on the chest. So maybe they played into the fact that it hit her on the chest, and then she acted like she was knocked out into their decision, but it's the way she goes. Barbosa got this one done. Next up the card, we had a fraud check. Bakoyev hurt Gore early, and he just could not finish. And then Gore, he gassed out, and Gore just kept beating up his legs, and he could barely walk. And Gore ended up getting a nasty guillotine or ninja choke, kind of the front headlock guillotine type choke there on the neck, choked him out. Definitely a fraud check. 20-4, just lost to a 6-4 or a 5-4. So that's how it goes. Gore called out Atiba Gautier and Belgaruri. So we'll see if he gets those fights. I could definitely see the UFC giving him Atiba after this Ozzy Diaz fight. You know how it is. But maybe he's right. Maybe he's really changed, turned a new leaf. Maybe he's just gonna go on a run and truly become champ. We will see. But Gore got the upset in this one. Next up the card, we had Alice Pereira versus Haley Cowan. Pereira was doing very good on the feet. Cowan didn't really have much to offer her. She was getting a hit with a lot of Supermans. Pereira, for some reason, one of her main strikes is just a Superman punch. I mean, it was working. To be fair, it was working, but it was just kind of weird to see so many Superman punches get thrown in sequence. You know, Cowan did come out much better in the second round, and then ended up getting the fight to the ground, and pretty much held her down there. Pretty much just controlled Pereira on the ground until about a minute left. It was like 55 seconds, and Pereira got up to the feet and just threw a nasty knee up the middle that caught Cowan. I mean, straight to her back. She was out. Couple of follow-up shots for good measure from Pereira, but I mean, maybe the women's divisions are making a turn. You know, maybe they're finally gonna start getting, you know, exciting to watch, fun to watch. If this type of stuff happens all the time, there will be far less complaints. You know what I mean? But Pereira got this one done in her second fight in the UFC. First win in the UFC, I believe. Next up the card. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Flowers gets it done. I mean, Venata, you know, neither of these guys really looked very good on the feet. You know, Venata, he looked better. I think Venata looked more fluid on the feet. Flowers were kind of flat-footed, chin up. But he was in there swinging. You know, Venata got the fight to the ground early, and then was, you know, just kind of controlling the fight on the ground. Flowers was kind of tossing up some sub attempts off of his back, so he is kind of dangerous. And then very end of the first round, Flowers gets up, kind of gets his own takedown, and just a big slam. Slams Lando, and immediately disengages and gets up and, you know, calls for Lando to get up, and he didn't get up. So that should have probably been called right there. But Flowers kind of re-engaged, started ground and pounding until the end of the round. Second round, Lando came out. You could tell that his ribs were kind of fucked up. One of them was kind of poking out, protruding a little bit. And Flowers, you know, they were fighting. They got kind of into a 50-50 position, over-unders, and Flowers just kind of torqued him down. There wasn't really a takedown or throw attempt. It was kind of like a back trip, I guess. 50-50s to a back trip. And like an outside back trip, I guess. But Lando pretty much just curled up after that, and Flowers got the TKO. I told you it was going to happen, and it happened. Sometimes you really just got to start believing in me. That's all there is to it, you know. Next up the card, we had Alessandro Costa versus Stuart Nickel. Nasty body shot KO. There's like 3 or 4 seconds left in the second round. I think he hit him with like 10 seconds left. But then by the time Nickel kind of curled up and the fight got called, there was like 3 or 4 seconds left. I mean, it was a nasty body shot KO. It didn't seem like Costa noticed that he was hurting Nickel to the body every shot he was throwing. But like the first body shot, you could kind of see him like hunch up and cover that spot longer than he should have. You know, he telegraphed his pain very, very clearly in this fight. but Costa just, I mean, he kept just swinging for the head. He did invest in body shots, but it seemed like he just didn't expect the body shot investments to pay off as soon as they did. And I mean, they did. Nickel could not take any more shots to the body. He was done. Costa got it done though. Next up, feature fight of the prelims. We had Guilherme Pat versus Thomas Peterson. I had Guilherme Pat to get this one done. He did not. He got knocked out. Or he did not get knocked out, excuse me. He got dropped very bad, and Thomas Peterson could not knock him out. He should have been knocked out. A little mini rant. This was a terrible fight. I think there was like, let's see here. No way there was 30 strikes thrown by Thomas Peterson. No way there's 30 strikes landed by Thomas Peterson in the first round. Zero shot. This was such a low output fight. These guys were just standing in front of each other with Peterson smudging him up against the fence. This was a terrible fight. I don't know who these guys should go against to prove they are UFC worthy. But excuse me. Fuck. Sorry. No touching the mouse. But I mean, from what I saw tonight, neither of these guys are UFC level. I don't know why the UFC keeps guys like this around. You know, this was just a terrible fight. Next up the card. Opening fight of the main card, we had Jose Delano versus Robert Ruchala. Excuse me. This was a very nice fight. This is a sweet fight. Both guys were just kind of chucking at each other. This was a brawl. They were both landing very good shots. I thought Delano landed the better shots. I don't really know why the commentary was talking about it being maybe a split decision or majority decision. I didn't really see that. But I mean, yeah, Delano was landing the better shots. Ruchala grabbed the fence bad. I'm not sure what round it was. Third round. So yeah, third round, Ruchala was about to get taken down and he grabbed the fence bad. Keith Peterson smacked his hands and he didn't let go. So Peterson stopped the fight, took a point away, put him back in the same position, restarted the fight. Delano went on to win. I felt it was a very clear unanimous decision. But that's how it goes. You know, Delano got the win. We had him winning, so good job, Delano. Next up the card. What did I tell you? The D-Gen gets it done in his debut. He looks sloppy though. You know, he has power in his hands, but on the feet he looked very sloppy. You know, he's definitely going to have to clean up his striking if he wants to make a run. I just don't really have much else to say. I mean, it was a good performance, good TKO. He kind of beat the shit out of Zucchini here. But I think someone with cleaner striking, you know, a little bit more physical, will be able to stop McMillan. I don't know how to explain it. You know, his striking just did not look very clean in this fight. I don't know if he had something going on or whatever. He said he was healthy, but I mean, he got this one done in the first round, so you can't really dog on him too much. Attaboy McMillan, Montana Kid getting it done. Next up the card, we had Ethan Ewing versus Rafael Estevan. I had Ewing getting it done, and he did. This guy's a dog. You know, on a full camp, this guy is a dog. Short notice, this guy is a dog. This little Roblox character has hands. He can bang. He has great takedown defense. That was my biggest fear, I guess, in this fight was, is Ewing gonna be able to defend the takedowns? And he was. I mean, Estevan could not get him down whatsoever. I'm not sure how many. Eight takedowns. 0 for 8. That's wild. Ewing gets this one done, you know. Estevan, you know, he did very good early. And then Ewing kind of just started turning it on. You know, it's almost like Ewing came out slow and sluggish, and then he needed to get hit a couple of times until he kind of woke up and turned it on, locked in. But Ewing got it done. KO in the third round. Next up the card, we had Abdul Yakayev versus Brendan Ribeiro. We had Yakayev getting this one done. Both guys came out wild, just kind of throwing bombs, and then it slowed down. Yakayev ended up getting him to the ground. He ended up catching a head kick. Like, Ribeiro landed a head kick partially, and Yakayev caught it and just off-balanced him, brought it to the ground. He ended up taking the back and getting the rear naked choke. You know, I'd like to see this guy fight some real competition. You know, Ribeiro's not the best, so it's hard to really rate this fight. He did look good though, so until he fights someone that's truly skilled and kind of his age and caliber, it is going to be a bit of a question mark, but he looked good in this fight. On to the co-main event. Verna Jandiroba versus Tabitha Ritchie. Verna got this one done. You know, kind of the typical WMMA snooze fest fight, but she got this one done. You know, she cracked Ritchie kind of early with a nice hook, and then proceeded to just kind of wet blanket her for the rest of the fight. Not a whole lot to talk about in this fight. It definitely was not like last week's co-main event that had me jumping and screaming. That was awesome. But yeah, I mean, I guess a decent women's strawweight bout. Next up, we had the main event of the evening. And what did I tell you? I said MOICANO is financially dependent on a win. He's going to go out there, be a SWAT team MOICANO, vintage MOICANO, and get the win. And what did he do? He beat the piss out of Chris Duncan. He looked much better on the feet than I was expecting. You know, I guess we can't really rate his Dariush loss too much, because that was not the same MOICANO that came out and fought tonight. I mean, he had a great fight. He ended up busting up Duncan's nose in the first, I believe. It might have been cut in the first, and then in the second, it really got busted up, started bleeding. And then MOICANO ended up taking him down, didn't take him down, dropped him, and took his back, and then ended up getting the submission, getting the rear naked choke. But yeah, I believe he has 5 rear naked choke, or 5 submissions at lightweight now. He was tied for 5th, so he should be sitting 4th perhaps, or have the 5th place. But yeah, I mean, proud of Moicano. He was financially dependent on a win. Came in there, got the win bonus, got a finish bonus. That's all there is to it. That was my recap of the fights this weekend. Moicano versus Duncan. This has been Wheezy MMA. I'm Wheezy, and I'm out. Have a good one.